Hi, it's Gab and Dad.
Hello.
We're doing our worst
I love this
picks of 2011. It's always it's not
Because I'm inherently kind of a critical.
but it's hard to like narrow it down.
Yeah, it's a wasteland out there.
So these are we tried to narrow it down, and it's not necessarily our worst of the ones we've seen together, because we also see movies separately from each other. We don't review every single movie that we see, so it'll be a grab bag. And actually, you said to me the other day that you only see the only bad movies you see are ones that I make you see. Other than me, if I wasn't a factory, you would see no bad films. But I think you've seen some without me.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
and in fact, my third worst film I've seen without you.
Well, I'm glad, and I think some of mine, maybe all of mine, I've seen without you. So let's get into it. Number 3, my third worst film of 2011 is Battle LA. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
Lucky you.
I wouldn't see that.
I actually thought it was the trailer made it look good. I thought we were going to have a smart alien invasion film.
I didn't even see it on a plane. I was on a plane when I could have seen it for free,
and you didn't
I didn't see it.
A lot of bad movies are seen on planes, actually. No, and it was just disappointing on every level. It's the worst of the sort of the video game sort of take on action and effects. No heart, no story, nothing to care about, nothing original or well done, and so just such an ultimate disappointment for that genre, which I like. It was just mindless and numbing, boring, stupid. Battle LA, hated it. Your third?
All right, you're going to be surprised at this pick, but my third worst film for 2011 is Mission Impossible 4, which I just saw a few days ago.
I thought you said you liked it.
No, I didn't say that. I've been thinking about it. It's a typical...
You texted me that you liked it.
Well, that was a text. You never take text seriously. The trouble with Mission Impossible is there's this huge gap between what it kind of promises, what the trailers promise, what the buzz promises, and what's delivered. You know, what's promised is dramatic action, you know, Dubai, the tallest building in the world, Tom Cruise, action, you know, plot. What's delivered is a very predictable, boring, plot-thin, silly film. It's just plain boring.
You didn't find it entertaining?
Not really, no. Not really. Just,
That's weird.
Not really. There was the only line I liked in it was when Tom Cruise says, well, that was a stupid thing for him to do, but of course he's no Rhodes Scholar. So, but even that wasn't worth the price.
That's because Dad's a Rhodes Scholar, by the way. Footnote there.
Yeah, that's just this tremendous gulf. It's typical of Hollywood. This tremendous gulf between what the buzz and the promise is and and what actually turns up.
Well, that was like my criticism of Battle LA, but I found I didn't find that gulf from Mission Impossible 4. I liked
your
it.
second one.
My second worst is Trespass, which was in theaters for about a week. Otherwise, it was pretty much direct DVD, but it was in theaters for about a week. But I saw it at the film festival, which somehow made it worse because, you know, you're at a film festival and you're eating canapes and sipping champagne, and you don't expect to go to that such an. I didn't either. I mean, it was just so. This is with Nicolas Cage and Nicole Kidman. Home Invasion.
Good stars. Particularly Nicole Kidman.
Talk about like promise versus delivery. It was just so cheesily, jaw-droppingly awful. The cliches.
What's it about?
The mindless. Well, it's a rich, fancy couple who have a home invasion. These sort of low-life criminals.
I've seen the trailer.
And it's something that you would avoid watching on an airplane. Once again, probably I would recommend.
That's the test, actually.
It was
would you watch it free on an airplane?
On an airplane when you're stuck in a cylinder up in the air and it's free? Would you still not watch it?
And if you're not going to watch the movie, you have to talk to the smelly fat guy sitting next to you. That's your choice, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I would opt for the smelly fat guy over this film. The only reason it's not my number one worst is because there's that cheesy factor. Like, it's almost like that. It's so
almost like
bad.
A parody of itself.
Yeah, like I almost actually thought it had that parody feel to it. You can have a drinking game based on this movie, a few drinking games. It's just so laughable, but it wasn't enjoyable enough, even that laughable element. But if you wanted to, you could extract a bit of the laughable element.
All right.
God awful.
My second worst film for 2011, there'll be no surprise here for folks, is Transformers.
Hey, Transformers makes an appearance. I was wondering.
What can I say about it?
It wasn't that. It wasn't as bad as 2.
Well, it wasn't my worst movie of 2011. I mean, in 2010, I guess, it was the Transformers 2.
No, 2009 it was Transformers 2, and in 2010 you again picked Transformers 2.
Yeah, because it was so awful. It was like a carryover.
You were still recovering.
So my fans will be surprised that this year my worst film.
Fans?
Well, there's 3 of them. My worst film is not Transformers. It was 3, right? But it's my second worst film. It stank. What else can we say? Over to you. Over to you.
Okay, it was. I'm over Transformers, be it good or bad.
Stank.
I'm over it.
It's terrible.
Stank. Okay. My number one worst
Even
film,
worse than Mission Impossible 4.
which wasn't that bad. My number one worst film of the year. Again, you were almost going to see it with me, but you got out of it. It was so bad. The Right. Anthony Hopkins as a priest, devil
God.
exorcism.
God, is he paying a lot
hoo-ha.
of? Is he paying a lot of alimony or something? I mean, why does he do these films? I mean,
And in Thor, he was okay in
God.
Thor, but
Like
anyway,
Liam Neeson, who's suddenly showing up in all these really cheesy movies. Like what?
The Right was like so bad, and there was nothing good about the badness of it. It was stupid. It was boring. It was derivative. It was ridiculous. The acting was laughable. It was boring as hell. I hated it with a passion. I have nothing good to say about this film. It was a blight on my year. It just hung over the... I saw it early in the year, and it just hung over me. I knew it was going to be my worst of the year, and nothing eclipsed it. The Right. So wrong.
Well put. My number one worst film for 2011, a film that had absolutely nothing whatsoever to recommend it or retrieve it, was Captain America.
Ooh!
Really bad, totally boring, totally...
You're being harsh.
Totally stupid.
This
The
year.
guy who played Captain America, what's his name?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. Goodbye, Chris Evans. Go, become a barista or something. But, this is not this is not the job for you.
Sorry, Chris
Really,
Evans.
I sat there and I said, this is a really bad film. I really hate this film. I hate this film
That's what you said.
even more than Transformers. This film
So you knew at the
this
time.
film has knocked Transformers out of the number one.
You knew at the time in your heart.
I knew.
That's the thing about the worst of the year. When you see it,
You know
it doesn't matter if it's in February or in July. You know it in your heart.
There's this feeling of doom that settled over your head. Your
Like
heart-
melancholia.
Like melancholia. You'd sit there thinking, the end of the world would be not such a bad thing.
Please, planet.
If the
blow up.
plan is going to come, if the world's going to come to an end, now would be a good time. While I'm watching this
Goodbye,
movie.
Chris Evans.
Goodbye, Chris Evans. And
That's
there you have it.
sad. I can't say I agree with that so harshly. And Captain America, the character is coming back next year in the
don't-
Avengers. And I'm going to make you see the Avengers
Oh no.
with Max. Well,
All right,
there you have
there
it.
you have it,
We
folks.
quite disagreed.
It's interesting. Generally we have some crossover. but no.
Quite interesting, but I mean, what do you guys think? I don't know. Anyway, 2012 is around the corner. What will be the worst? We almost anticipate the stinkers as much as the good ones. It'll be interesting
I'm sure
Thanks for
it'll be
watching.
hard to choose.
because there'll be so many.
Goodbye,
We'll
folks.
see. Bye. Happy New Year.